G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm David and this is Bonsai Works. Now I want to today talk about and work through what I consider why bonsai is fun. Why is it so much fun? Why is it such a passion? Why is it, to me, what's the fun side of bonsai? I mean, people see beautiful works of art, beautiful trees, they look spectacular. It brings joy when you look at them, things like that. It's fantastic. But what's the fun part of bonsai? Watering, no. Fertilizing, no. Weeding, no. Pruning, no. But for me, it's creating a tree, or creating a style, or creating a vision on a tree. So it's like, you might look at this tree, if you've been following my channel, you would have seen this before, featured a few times, where I've wired up, bent around. Now I'll spin it around, you can see some of the big twists at the back to bring all this foliage in, bring it close. This was a long branch, I've wired it in to bring it in. But it's got lots of issues, but at least it's got some heavy wire on it, some time to reset, time to fill out, etc. It's a nice size Shimpaku trunk. What do we do now? Like, this is the fun part. This is where I love bonsai, is when you create your vision. It's now trying to bring in a vision, trying to come up with a final design for this tree. When I did this tree, and you would have seen in previous videos, you've been following me for a while now, all I did was repotted a couple of years ago, put some heavy wire on it, put some heavy wire on some big trunks, because there were just big trunks out here, and then I've compacted the tree into something smaller. Now I've got two kind of big trunks in this tree. One that scoops around and creates this front, and one that goes around the back and creates this side branch here. The fun part is you get to study a tree. Like, I've taken some time, studied the tree, had a look. Sometimes I do 10 minutes a day, sometimes I do half an hour studying it. I'm not an expert. I haven't been trained overseas, anything like that. I just learned from visiting internationals like Bjorn, great people in Australia like Quentin, all the people who've come out to Australia and Melbourne and done demonstrations, and who you talk to in clubs, etc. You just pick up bits and pieces online, you listen to all the experts, it's great. But then you've got to get stuck into it yourself and try and implement your vision, and that's the joy of bonsai to me, is creating your vision of the tree. So by studying it, you could study for this for 6 months and you can't come up with the design. I'm still in two minds about this tree. I'm not 100% sure where we're going to go, but let's tackle it together, and let's tackle it with some sort of idea in our heads. First thing I'm going to do is remove all the wire, because I'm going to rewire this tree into like its final shape, whatever that's going to be. I do have an idea, but let's take all the wire off and let's see where it looks like. That's the first step. The next one is identify the deadwood, shari, what's the live vein, what's the dead vein, so that we want to expose the shari, and that will also tell us which way the tree is going to go. So that's the first. So they're the first two things without it going too complex. So I'm just going to take all the wire off, which is a boring process. I won't take you through that, but I will come back and I'll show you how we look at through for the shari. Alright everyone, so I have taken all the wire off this tree. Now I'm looking at possible, where is the deadwood, where is the live wood. Probably the best thing to do is try and get in close. Let's see how we go. We try and get in really close here. I'll try and bring the camera in as well. See what we can do. Sorry, should have repositioned it when I'm off camera, but that's a nice close view of the tree. Now I'm just going to try and point out a few things. Again, you'll see that there is two trunks. There's this one that's kind of forming the front apex, and there's one here that's running behind the tree. It comes from behind and sits in there. So I've made a decision that I need to only have one. I'm going to eliminate one. But will I use it as a gin, turn it into a gin? It's a good question. Probably will, but how small and how big will it be? It's still undecided. So I am going to cut this guy off, and I'm going to use this tree to form the tree. Now I'm in two minds. I was thinking, do I go small, like really compact it down and wrap around the deadwood and shari on the trunk, which I'll show you in a minute, or do I go up taller, make a slightly taller tree, more literati kind of style, and see which one's more believable, I guess. That's the word. So if we take that in mind, if we're going to remove this guy, I need to follow the vein of this tree as well, and I've got to predict where that live tissue is going to run along the tree. So if I move this away, so you can see the big curve there, and I'll have to usually follow down the path of the tree, and that's usually the root, the trunk line we're going to, that's going to die off eventually when I cut that off. Additionally, if you can kind of see in here, there's this nub of deadwood here, and if you follow that along here also, you can see I will start to carve out the dead part there. There is a nice big dead part in the tree. The other thing we need to do is get rid of the straightness of the trunk. So if I tilt the tree slightly and then use this, you can start to see that I can make a nice tall kind of literati kind of tree with this, with a nice lots of deadwood feature, lots of gin, or I haven't decided, or I can make a much smaller tree, really compact and tight, and have that deadwood exposed above it. So I'm in two minds. I've got two designs in my head. It's which one's going to be doable. So now I'm just going to work on whereabouts am I going to remove. I'm just going to come backwards a bit. Whereabouts am I going to take this trunk off? I'm not going to air layer it. It's just purely cutting this off and creating a gin with it. I'll cut it short just for now. I'll cut it long just for now. So I'll do probably that. Okay, so this I'll treat as a cutting. You never know, could work. So I'll just stick it in some, seed raising mix or whatever I've got, and just plant it and see how we go. And then I start to remove all this foliage. We don't need that. Okay, so now we've just got one trunk, got all this gin deadwood work that we need to work on. You can see that's kind of a feature, and with shari down the trunk, that's another feature. So where is this best place? Does this best place go higher, or does this best place to go lower? And that's the decision I haven't made yet, until I probably really look at this tree and have a good think about where I want that foliage to end up. I like smaller trees, so I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm also looking at this tree with the mindset that what has triggered all this deadwood, what's created it, how would the tree respond? So I'm in two minds about which way I'm going to go. So now I'm just going to work on all the deadwood, and then I'll come back and show you where we're up to with that. Okay everyone, so I'll come in nice and close, and I'm sure you can see the shari work that I've done on the tree. It's actually the very light stuff. It was quite easy to follow this trunk line, and it just pulled almost all the way through. It's better of just using a knife and just working the way down, and just finding how it goes. You'll also see this part that was dead. Also tried to carve that out with a knife. Because it was dry, it didn't peel off as quickly and easily, so I will need a power tool at some stage to really refine all this deadwood. So we've pretty much got deadwood all along the front of the trunk here. We've got the live vein, you can probably just see on there, but you can definitely just see this is the live vein on this side. So you definitely can see the live vein from this angle. Maybe I'll have to turn it a little bit so you can see the live vein in the future, just to see that live vein. There'll be a nice live vein here and towards the back. You just want to see the live vein just when you're doing the foot looking for a front. You just don't want to see the deadwood only. So you want to see a little bit of a view of the live vein, and the live vein is along there, and this is the vein that it's quite a nice shape too. It's a nice. I know it's not defined enough at the moment, just because I don't have the tools to really define it. But we'll work on that in the future and get it really looking good. But then now it's a matter of what do we do with the rest of the tree. Now I tried a few variations. One thing I have to do, I don't like the straightness of this trunk. I want to actually emphasize it some more, so I want it to go this way. So you can already see the improvement if I've got it up like that. Now I was trying to figure out ways to show off this bit more. So I was trying to think, can I bring the tree lower, make a small tree? Every time I did that, I kind of kept blocking the the trunk and the deadwood, and if I tried to put it down and move this way, it just wasn't going, didn't flow. I think the ultimate way, what we're going to do is have a taller tree that kind of covers up and comes around and kind of emphasizes this and drop. So in a way, we're going to work a tree around some of this deadwood, show it off, but have the tree sitting maybe to this side slightly, and sitting in above it there. I know it's not the right view, I have to pull back, but yeah, something really compact this down and have a tree sitting in here somehow, somewhere, while we still see all this nice deadwood work, and we really need to see this live vein, so it might have to be a slight tilt this way, and I'll work with that in mind as a new front, and we'll see what it looks like. So really the next step now is to wire the tree and put it in place. So I'm going to go away and do that, and I'll once I wire it, it's a bit time consuming to show you how I'm going to position all the branches, but you'll see what I can come up with. I'll see if I'll just do a time lapse of me when I position the tree. Okay, so I'll come back and see you shortly. Alright everyone, so I'm trying to put my body behind it, but now you can probably see I've wired it up. I've wired it up totally. I haven't positioned the branches yet. So I said I'll do this slowly, but I'll put the tree in the new angle that I want it to be. So when I repot this tree, that's the angle will be. Now if you imagine the pot's like that, flat, straight, don't think of the pot as that, how do I say it? Yeah, think of it as straight like that. It's not a bad little tree now, You can definitely see all the deadwood, which is nice. This one's a little bit hidden, but that's okay. But you see the nice shari along the trunk. We'll be able to see the light vein. I'll make sure that works, and you can just see the light vein on this side. So I'll probably just tilt it to we have to just come around to there. So now you'll see the light live up here. So you can see it there, good. And then we'll work on this apex and tree now, wiring it all up. So it's not too bad. It's a little bit forward, so maybe I'll have to repot it at like that angle, a little bit backwards as well. So you see how the little intricacies of repotting and repositioning will fix a lot of these elements of the tree. So if that goes back up a little bit like that, yeah, so there you go. Now I'm just, I'll do some fine wiring. I've wired it all up. I'll just put it all in place and hopefully it will look good. But I won't keep you on there. I'll just do a little quick time lapse of me positioning the branches. Okay, all right. Okay everyone, so I've done some, final positioning. There's still a bit of tweaking to do, especially if for a repop this will look really good. Let me just stand up. I'll do a photo of the tree in a better background, but you can hopefully see with my white background, there's still a few areas need to be worked on. The apex still needs to develop quite a lot, but it's in the right place and it's moving in the right direction. Some of these branches need to develop quite a bit. All these branches need to develop, but it set the structure for the tree. I think it's probably the best you can do with this tree. It's quite nice. I like the fact that we can see the live vein, can see the deadwood. And once this is all cleaned up and polished, and then lime sulfur, they'll look really good. There's lots of nice gins in the area. I've got this big branch going in between. I'll just show you. So it's going in between. Where is it? See here it is. See, it's going in between the gins. So it's found a way through the gins. Needs to fill in this area at the back here, just slowly. I've got a few branches coming back here, so it's good. That will just fill out slowly, no problem there. That's good. Really, it's a matter of now letting this tree rest and develop. I am tempted to just slip pot it into the right angle, because I hate looking at a tree when it's a different angle and having to wait for the season. Now I don't actually touch the roots. I just put it in the position and then kind of manipulate the root ball downwards, kind of thing. I'll see if I can do it. I'm not going to promise anything, but we'll see if I can do that. I'm not too far. If you do that, you're not really touching the roots. You're not damaging the roots. You're not doing anything. You're just maneuvering it so it's in the new position. So I kind of think this came out. This is probably the best you can do with this tree. I've changed some key things. Is I've changed the planting angle. Once you change the planting angle, it changes the tree totally. So never look at a tree just front on and square and just trying to find it. Look around, maneuver it, change it around. This might change a little bit again in the future, but I think this is the right angle at the moment with the tree. It looks really nice. The deadwood looks really good with the live wood. Yeah, so this is the fun part of bonsai, when you actually get to create something. You've been growing it, and then you get to a point where all that hard work turns into something that you can be creative and enjoy the process. Yeah, this is enjoyable, even though it's warming up this morning. It's very warm. You see the sun shining through. It's getting quite warm, but you really enjoy these times of working on trees and creating something that you've envisioned. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If I don't do another update on this one, in terms of if I've slip potted it, then that's the final tree. And I've got another one I'm going to do soon, another little Shimpaku like this, that's ready for first styling or creative styling. So we'll have a look at that one as well. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Alright guys, so I was able to just slip pot this tree. It did quite easily, and now we can actually have a look at it. So nice angle. You see the live vein just to the left of the screen, and the deadwood goes all the way up. Then starting to get all the pads going, and just working on it. So there you go guys. So that's that tree done. Hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for some more. See you next time. Bye.